When President Obama went viral last week for suggesting that aliens might exist, President Trump had to pipe up. He's trying to get in on the alien action, posting on Truth Social that he would, quote, begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, but not before he ripped Obama for releasing, quote, classified information.
I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
Joining us now to discuss is astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's the author of the forthcoming book, Take Me to Your Leader, Perspectives on Your First Alien Encounter, which comes out in May.
Which may be coming sooner than we think.
Get ready. You better get ready.
I gotta say, I just am so grateful to President Obama for making those comments, and now he's forcing President Trump to act. Do you think we stand to actually learn anything from a purported release of files relating to UFOs and extraterrestrial life?
Well, if I were Trump, I would have instead said, I want any government agency that has an alien to bring forth the alien. Then you don't need documents. just think about that. What's the point of documents if you actually have the alien? Just bring out the alien. And until that happens, it seems to be all about who you believe and what conspiracy theory. And it feels almost like a religion at some level, where are you a believer or are you not? Are you with us or are you not? And I think bringing forth an alien would just settle that immediately.
Well, this administration is not particularly known for its transparency, I guess, right? So they're not going to suddenly pivot to being like, we want to be super transparent about everything, from the Epstein files to the aliens.
No, I mean, but I can tell you this, that deep conspiracy thinking people, the president can say what he wants, and
they'll read into it.
No, they'll just say, yeah, he's part of the conspiracy, right? So the president says, bring out the files, and if the files don't satisfy the conspiracy theorist, they'll just continue to say there's information being withheld. And so that's why the alien makes a big difference here.
But what happens if you bring forth an alien and it doesn't, I guess, look like what everyone thought an alien was supposed to look like?
Yeah, we all know what aliens look like, right? They're gray with big almond eyes.
Sometimes they're green.
Sometimes they're green, but the gray has been winning out over the green ones lately. Have you noticed that?
Personal theory,
evolution.
My personal feeling is if you were an alien, smart, talented enough to make it all the way over here, be embedded here, be doing your thing, you probably have taken on human form.
We both watched
if you were, so if you were brought forth, it would just be, and you happen to be working for some government agency that could just grab you. You would just look like, I don't know, any one of us.
Okay, this is evidence to me that Hollywood is really successful.
I thought I was coming to an informed conversation.
No, it's important because space-based films that portray aliens are a big part of our culture.
Yeah.
What we think aliens look like, how they behave, how they might treat us. One of my important observations that I've made for myself is, look at it, most aliens that are portrayed are evil. And where do we get that from? We don't have actual evidence that they're evil, but you know where we have actual evidence? That when we have higher technology compared to another branch of our species, it never bodes well for the community that doesn't have the technology. So my feeling is that we are placing upon the aliens,
we're projecting onto them,
the aliens what we know we would do if we encountered ourselves.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. The truth is out there, right? Breaking: Trump issues alien announcement. All right, so there's been a lot of drama and controversy behind the disclosure of so-called aliens, UFOs, UAPs. Okay, because Esau knows that the Lord is getting ready to make his grand debut, his grand appearance, and bring judgment upon this world, man. You know, and that's what I want to get into in this lesson here. Now, before we play this video, right? Check this out. Okay? This Edomite chick right here, she says it's not aliens, it's judgment. Now, I just want to play this video because it's spiritual, all right? And remember to chew the meat and spit out the bones, but check this out.
It is not an alien invasion, it is judgment part 2. So in part 1, we discussed how I personally believe that the true deception is that they've shaped our perception, which is true occultic magic. Instead of having to do anything, they just have to mold our perception slightly so that when we look at something like this, which is a divine judgment, the cups being poured out, the glory cloud with the wheels spitting out the lights, we look at this and think either aliens or Project Bluebeam. Almost nobody is going to look at something like this and think that it is God or any type of divine judgment. And as I peeled back the layers on medieval Bible manuscripts, facsimiles, things of that nature, this becomes more and more obvious to me. So this is a Judgment Day illustration from a 1300s Bible, and I've been showing you guys the ark that is clearly in the sky. It's literally this, and it sends out these. And as I searched out medieval illustrations of Noah's Ark, they get more and more interesting. The further you go back, the more they begin to look kind of like flying saucers. This is from 1330. A lot of altar tabernacles look like this, and this coincidentally looks exactly like what they've programmed us to believe UFOs or like flying saucers would look like. Here's a biblical image of God's throne. Again, flying saucer-esque. Again, I think this is God's ark. This is a 1400s image of the glory of the Lord. The craziest part is I have seen these exact things. I believe that these are like some form of like maybe throne angels. They spit out the northern lights. I have seen these with my own eyes. How about this 1700s illustration? This is the baptism of Christ, guys. Look at what's going on here and tell me that this doesn't look... I know this image is probably freaking a lot of people out, but I just ask that you consider that we may be conditioned to perceive things the wrong way. Because Jesus asks the Pharisees, was John's baptism from man or from heaven? So this picture is Jesus' baptism. Jesus later references baptism being from heaven, right? And you're clothed with light, you get the living water from heaven. And very consistently, antique Bibles/sources all have engravings of New Jerusalem that look like this. Baptism from heaven, New Jerusalem/heaven. And I know this is probably giving a lot of people the heebie-jeebies.
And like I said, it's all spiritual. You know, let me jump up. She start going off in the scriptures here. All right, we almost there. Bear with me.
Green pastures. In medieval times, they often depicted these crazy looking comets and they always had swords in them. And coincidentally, a lot of medieval engravings and like illustrations of angels, like biblical seraphim, look exactly like what they've trained us to believe sky aliens would look like. Come to think of it, pretty much every single type of angel that's biblically accurate will be interpreted as an alien from outer space or some kind of alien by 90% of the public. I mean, I've seen so many movies where the aliens look like this, and this is divine judgment. And something tells me that Ezekiel's wheels are going to scare a lot of people.
Heavy, you know? So, like I said, you know, it's a spiritual clip, all right? But all these images she's showing, the chariots, you know? Jeremiah 4:13, behold, he shall come up as clouds, all right? This is how the Lord and the heavenly host are returning to this world, all right? The angels, the chariots, all right? The clouds of heaven. And he shall come up as clouds, and his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. All right? So Esau knows that his time is over, man. All right? This is what they're preparing for. Okay? Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. All right? This is how Yahushua is coming back. He's coming back in that massive fathership. All right? He cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. All right, everybody on the planet Earth is going to see the return of the Lord. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. All right, so the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai, is coming back in a glorious fashion. All right, and remember, as we were just seeing in this clip here, she was showing the different images of the chariots and all of that, you know, and how people wouldn't suspect that to be judgment. All right, remember this. We brought this out a few times years back.
A curious disc-shaped flying object has been discovered on an old painting in the Church of the Dominican Monastery in Romania. The object is similar to other disc-shaped UFOs seen in paintings and coins, ranging from the 4th to the 17th century. The image was sent to the Israeli Extraterrestrials and UFOs Research Organization, from Catalina Borda, who took the photograph while visiting the monastery. As you can see, the disc-shaped object is hovering over a building that is emitting smoke. The painting also has a caption in German, that states, "Israel, put your hope in the Lord." The age of the painting is unknown, but the monastery was originally built in the 14th century. The caption on the painting probably dates it to after 1523, when the Bible was translated into German. Interestingly, a very similar object can be seen on a Renaissance illustration in Rome. The image in question is supposed to depict a round object that was seen at sunset, with a large beam of fire to the right. This sighting is supposed to have taken place in 98 BC. Interestingly, we can also find the same object on an old coin. In France, there was a coin minted in 1680 that shows a hovering disc-shaped UFO, with what appears to be portholes or lights around the outer rim. Could this be the same extraterrestrial spaceship? If it is, then it's further evidence that an alien civilization has been visiting planet Earth for thousands of years.
Yeah, too heavy, man. All right, Israel, keep your hope in the Lord. All right, let me get a scripture on that real quick. Psalm 146 and 5. Okay, this is Psalm 146 and verse 5. It says, "Happy is he that have the power of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, his power." See that? So again, you know, all these things that we're witnessing here are spiritual. Okay, so Esau knows what's coming. All right, so let's get into the main video here. I just wanted to, show that before we got into it here. Again, as we know, the truth is out there. All right.
Okay, so apparently we've got a huge announcement from Trump thanks to my interview with Barack Obama just a few days ago. Trump just posted on Truth Social, quote, "Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America." Let me just say that I dealt with God knows how many people telling me that I made a generational fumble, massive mistake by not asking Obama a follow-up to this question. Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
But here's the reality. Had I asked Obama the follow-up question, he would have said what he said in his clarification, which is that he believes aliens are real by virtue of the sheer size of the solar system, but hasn't seen them, and there's no evidence that the US government has either. And then that would have been it, asked and answered. The fact that I didn't ask a follow-up meant that it was an open question, which meant that the discourse could truly thrive in that vacuum of a clear answer. And now, we're going to see the truth about aliens and UAPs and UFOs expressly because I didn't ask a follow-up, and this this thing took on a life of its own. So am I going to take credit for being responsible for people knowing the truth about aliens and UFOs and UAPs? With no modesty at all, yes, I am. And this announcement came in the aftermath of Trump saying this just this morning when asked about the same topic.
Something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, if the president can...
Yeah, real quick, man. These devils playing games. They know what's up, you know. It's not like they don't know. All right? They're preparing for a war against the Lord, you know. James 2:19. Just thinking about that. James 2:19. Thou believest that there is one power, one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. All right? They know what's up, man. Okay? There's a lot of distractions and psyops and things like that. You know, we know Esau's going to be doing some shit too. But at the same time, the presence of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is being acknowledged. All right? They know what's about to happen. All right? As we get closer to nuclear war, this buildup with Iran and America and Israel and, you know, the Valley of Yehoshaphat, okay, the war Armageddon in the so-called Middle East. All right? We know, according to prophecy, that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to return in the midst of World War III. All right? So they know what's going on.
declassify anything that he wants to,
Well,
so if you
maybe I'll
want
get
to
him
make
out
an
of trouble.
announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
What have I done? Okay, let me just say, if my speed round question in the 44th minute of a 47-minute episode results in a prosecution attempt against President Barack Obama, I'm not sure how I continue on after that. Now, in terms of Trump's response, he says that Obama revealed classified information. What Obama actually revealed was his belief that aliens are real, but that he has no tangible information to back that up, that he hasn't seen them, and that if they were here, it would be a conspiracy so vast that even the President of the United States wouldn't know about it. That's his words. In other words, Obama has plausible deniability based on what he said. But when Trump says that Obama revealed classified information, he is in effect saying that they are real and that it's classified and that Obama exposed it. In other words, Obama didn't actually reveal anything, but Trump inadvertently revealed the thing that he blames Obama for revealing. And that's a point, by the way, that even Fox News picked up on.
So at least one Hill Republican tonight is telling me that he is reading this as the president all but confirming what Barack Obama said, that aliens are indeed real. So we followed up with the White House here. We asked them several questions. We wanted to know what part of Barack Obama's comments did the president feel were classified? Was it the part where he says that he believes in aliens, or was it the part that they were not in Area 51? They were also asked if the DOJ was going to look into these comments, perhaps because they were classified. The White House told us there's nothing to add to the president's comments tonight. Brett, all of this comes as the president's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, told a podcast this week that the president has a speech prepared about extraterrestrial life that he will give at the right time. Listen.
Yeah, real quick. All right. Now, there's a video that came out. I believe this to be real. Okay, but it's a chariot spotted in the skies of Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico. All right, check this out. Yeah, so you can say it's real, you can say it's fake, but hey, a lot of spiritual things are going on right now, man. Please believe that. All right? Let's finish this out here.
we've kind of asked my father-in-law about this. We all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. I have just heard kind of around that, I think he's actually said it, I think my father-in-law's actually said it, that there is some speech that he has that I guess at the right time, and I don't know when the right time is, he's gonna break out and talk about, and it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life.
And Brett, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, you'll remember this week, was asked about Lara Trump's comments, and she said, a speech on aliens would be news to me, but we are expecting more reaction from the Hill in the coming hours and days. Brett.
And look, to be clear, I think Obama was joking, and I think or hope Trump is joking, but it's also worth noting that Trump has tried prosecuting his enemies for much less. This guy's entire presidency is littered with attempts to go after his political opponents. He did it to James Comey, Letitia James, Tim Walsh, Jake.
Yeah, so that's it. You can watch the rest of that. Just wanted to make that point there. Okay. Anyway, Isaiah 19:1. Message to Egypt. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai rideth upon a swift cloud. All right? It's the chariot. And shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right? See, it's going to be, pure terror when the return of the Lord comes. All right? All right? Everything is going to be wiped out. Psalm 68:17, the chariots of Yahweh Shemel Shai are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is among them as in Sinai in the holy place, man. So, hey, all these scriptures, that detail the return of the Lord, how he's coming back with the heavenly host, all right? Just thinking about all these things, man, okay? Because they know what's happening, okay? 2nd Ezra 13, it's a good chapter. All right, going into the return of Yahweh Shemel Shai. But I just want to go down straight to the point here. All right, further down here in the chapter. So 2nd Ezra 13. And I started at 27. Salaki, I started 25. 2nd Ezra 13:25, it says, this is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. All right, Yahweh Shai, breaking the clouds, all right, coming through the atmosphere, The same is he whom the Most High, whom the God of the highest have kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and shall order them out that are left behind. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to gather his elect. All right. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation, right? Because we know when Yahweh Shai returns in the midst of World War III, all right, these world militaries that are fighting each other, they're gonna turn and stop fighting each other to fight the Lord. Okay. Hey, like what's his name? The speech that Ronald Reagan gave. He said if the planet Earth was invaded by an alien force, he said, will we not all put our differences aside to handle that threat? Roughly paraphrasing, verse 29, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, right? And we're in that time now. Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, right? Hey, the Lord says in countless of times in the scriptures, behold, I come as a thief. So when the Lord returns, it's going to be as an astonishment, okay, a shock, a surprise. Verse 31, the point, it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another, all right? So, hey, the spiritual realm is getting ready to meet the physical realm, man. This is what we saying. This is what they know, all right? Trump, all of them. You see? So yeah, that's pretty much the point, Just want to bring that out, man. Like I said, everything is spiritual, man. All right? Definitely some exciting times we live in, man. All right? Major things, major spiritual things are about to happen. Shalom.